let's call this a mini PD on your plan, because I'm going to talk to you about Evernote and one of its more practical uses today. If you know me, Evernote's one of my favorite apps to help me collect, get organized, and remember everything. Remember, your kid's birthday, remember your birthday if you want to remember that, remember your anniversary, any important recipes, and what I'm really going to focus on today is remembering things to read, articles to read. Really help you develop a reading list. If you watched last week's episode, I shared this article that I thought was particularly interesting, and I encourage you to read it and share it with people that you care about. But I want to do more of that, and I want to show you how to, collect great articles or just great resources online using Evernote. Of course, first you're going to need to go download Evernote, which don't worry, it's free. And then the second thing you're going to need is to download the Evernote Web Clipper. And it is a handy dandy little tool that you can see is available on multiple platforms depending on what browser you want to use. I'm using Safari right now, so I'm going to download it. There we go. Install, and boom. Now I have this cool looking little elephant icon right there at the top. Now let's go look at an article. So last week I shared this article about building better teachers, and it's a great read, and it talks a lot about collaboration. So to build on that theme of collaboration, I'm sharing this very short article about the benefits of starting a creative circle. So hope you have some fellow education nerds out there that are part of your creative circle, so you can talk about and throw ideas around for great lessons or great ideas for help education in a meaningful way. Hopefully you're doing that with someone that doesn't teach the same subject as you. Maybe your cross-curricular creative circle is coming up with some brilliant ideas. But I'm going to link this article so you can read it, and I suggest you try out Evernote Web Clipper and the reading list function. When someone sets up an Evernote account, I always recommend you set up 3 folders. One for reading list, of course, one for lesson ideas, and another for resources. And you're going to use the Web Clipper to really bring all 3 together and collect what you need to build a great lesson, a great reading list, and a great resource library. So I'm going to click that elephant icon, and you see I have these options that appear over here, and it totally changes the screen, which is pretty awesome. I like the simplified article look because it kind of cuts away all the clutter, so I can really focus on the words, and it turns my cursor into a highlighter, so I can go through, and when I read it I can highlight some of the cool details in the text. And then of course when I go to organize, I can select which notebook I want to put it in, and I want to put it in my reading list notebook, and I can add a little note. Let's see, share with lunchtime PLC. There we go, and then I click save, and now it's going to go to my Evernote account. So now I can pull it up on any device. I can pull it up on my iPad and read it, make more notes, annotations on there, or I can even share it out. Now I'm going to show you, in case you can't install the actual Evernote program, you can access your notes just online through any internet browser. So when I go and refresh, I now have that article I just clipped with my highlights, and then of course my notes, and I can make more notes. And like I said, you can share it on Facebook with your notes if you want to share it with a friend on Twitter, or just email it to your colleagues that are part of your possible creative circle. I think it's a great way too, when it's all nice and clean, you can kind of delete even more on it and make it a nice handout if you wanted to pass it out at your next department meeting and get people thinking about some of the things that you're reading online as well. So that's the Web Clipper. There's an article. That's 2 articles I shared in the past 2 weeks. Maybe you can start a reading list. Maybe you have some ideas for what belongs on my reading list. I'm open to some suggestions. Now let's move on to updates. Of course, we have a testing calendar that is now available to you, and I will provide a link to it on this email out. It does not have the EOI writing test dates. Those are still pending, or the test windows, those are still pending, but it has everything else, so that might be some useful information. Also, we have this new accommodations guide for students with IEP and 504 plans. So that is going to be available, and I will link that here. It's very nicely organized. And of course, upcoming conferences. Well, OCTE, September 27th, Saturday, of course. I mentioned that last week. And also the ORA conference, February 28th. But if you want to add one more really cool conference, OTAs have an encyclopedia October 7th and 8th, and I will link that up on my message for this week. I hope you enjoy Evernote. Hope you give it a try. And until next week, take care of yourself, take care of your students, and take care of each other. Later.